Below this building, just southwest of downtown Bedford, Indiana, is a national treasure. One that many people don't know about. It all started back in 1940. George Colglazier had a dairy farm, and on it, a small pond. It was not unusual in any way, but that was about to change. During the night, a heavy thunderstorm blew across Lawrence County. It pounded the farm with untold inches of water. When George went outside the next day, his entire pond had vanished, leaving only a mysterious hole in the ground. Apparently, all the water that fell the previous night collapsed an unknown cavern ceiling. But George had no interest in the cave and boarded up the entrance for the next 25 years. His sons, however, Norman, James, Lee, and Daniel, were fascinated by the unknown. George allowed them and many others to come and explore this most unusual cave. It wasn't until the mid-1960s that a group of cave explorers asked George if they could survey the cave and map how big it was. It took them 8 years to map the cave system, and amazingly, they found over 19 miles of passages. Among these daring cave explorers was Jim Richards and Sam Freshour. Jim, Sam, and their group of explorers saw things that had never been seen before by human eyes. But it was their survey of the underground river that was perhaps the biggest discovery. This underground waterway is now recognized as the longest underground river you can travel by boat in the entire United States. In 1972, a company named Inner Odyssey leased and developed the cave into a tourist attraction. They brought boats and started the first tours, but in just 1 year, the company was bankrupt. Thankfully, in 1974, the cave was bought by two of the original cave explorers, Jim Richards and Sam Freshour. Their intent was to preserve the cave and keep it much like they found it. Wild and full of natural beauty. In fact, it's recognized as one of America's best show caves due to the diligence of Jim and Sam. To find Bluespring Caverns Park, simply take Highway 37 south from Bedford or north from Mitchell. If you're coming from Bedford, turn west on 50 and take that to Bluespring Caverns Road. However, if you're coming from Mitchell, go north on 37 and then turn left on Art Gallery Road. That will cross Highway 50 and go straight to Bluespring Caverns Road. The drive dead ends at the Colglazier Visitor Center, named after George Colglazier, whose pond became a cave overnight. The visitor center entrance is just past the water tower. You'll notice water flowing from the water tower down to an old-fashioned sluice. This is a fun attraction for the kids. You purchase a bag of dirt from the visitor center and use the water to pan for souvenirs. Just inside the double doors, you can purchase your tickets and a variety of gifts. Don't forget to look up at the wall. It's a map detailing where your underground voyage will take you. Tour departures will be announced over the loudspeaker and will start from a door inside the visitor center. The trail to the cave goes under the visitor center and down about 100 feet. This might not seem like a big deal on the way going down, but be advised, you have to take the same trail back up after the tour. Once inside the cave, your eyes will need time to adjust. There's another 300 feet down to the boats. This makes it 400 feet from where you started. At this point, you're about to embark on a 1-hour journey into the unknown, looking much like it did when the cave was first explored. The boats are very stable, extremely quiet, and will hold up to 16 visitors plus tour guide. As you pull away from the dock, you honestly feel like you're leaving the world you know behind. And you are. Down here, cell phones no longer get reception. You cannot hear a single car, truck, airplane, wind, birds, trees, or anything else. It is complete silence, as you've never heard it before. You do not need to bring a flashlight, as the boat has its own lighting, but you can if you want to. The cave is a constant 52 to 54 degrees year-round. A light jacket is recommended. Closed-toed shoes will also keep your feet warm. You will travel 1.25 miles on your journey. Since the cave was surveyed in the 1960s, several more miles of passages have been discovered, making the cave over 21 miles long. The water averages 8 feet deep, and you can see the bottom at many places. There are a few low places in the cave. If your tour guide tells you to duck, be sure to do so. Your tour guide will point out blind cave fish that call Bluespring Caverns their home. Blind crayfish also live here. As an adaptation to living in a place without light, both the fish and crayfish are totally blind. They also have no pigmentation for camouflage against predators. Without light, it's just not needed. And just like crayfish that live above ground, this one will regrow a pincher, apparently lost in a fight. Any sound you make in the cave will travel a great distance, as the sound bounces off the walls. If the boat hits anything, it sounds like thunder and will travel for miles in the cave. It is truly an otherworldly place. As the boat pulls into the dock, you realize that you've experienced a completely different world, a place of complete, quiet serenity. Maybe you can bring some of that with you when you leave. If you'd like to see the largest sinkhole in Indiana, simply take the Ruth and Emery Bolton Natural Area Trail near the front of the park. The sinkhole takes up 10 acres and is 137 feet deep. Bluespring Caverns Park is simply a must-see when traveling southern Indiana. Open from mid-March through the end of October, it's an unforgettable adventure you'll never forget.